Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Welcome back to another episode of our interview series with traditional business owners who also might be working on like they're in online business. So I'm doing all these interviews just to give you all an idea about how any business will take your time, money, and effort. Right. The only thing different is that how much time it takes, how much effort and money it takes to start different businesses, and we'll also compare how traditional businesses and online businesses differ, how online businesses can give you more flexibility compared to doing a traditional business. Okay, so today we have Donna from Australia. Hi, Donna. Thank you for
Hello.
your time. Hi, Donna.
Hi
So
there.
yeah, can you please introduce yourself to our audience, Donna?
Yeah, so I am Donna. I'm a mom of two. So we are recent immigrants to Australia, and I've been running my business for my own traditional business for some time. And then once I moved in over here, I had started a 9 to 5 job, and now I'm doing a 9 to 5 alongside being a digital business owner.
Okay, awesome. Great. Thank you for that, Donna. And you're from Sri Lanka, basically, right? Like, so you had your
Yes,
business in Sri Lanka. When you were in Sri Lanka, then you moved to Australia, you meant. So now
correct.
you're into 9 to 5 and you're also doing a digital business.
Digital business,
So,
correct.
yeah, so like I said, Donna, I'm doing this to give some idea about the traditional businesses. Like, so how much time and how much effort and all those that went into your traditional business, right? So can you please explain about what your traditional business was? Like, what were you doing when you were in Sri Lanka, the business?
Yeah, so I had a garment production factory. So I've been doing that for at least 15 years. Yes, that is
Oh,
what
okay.
I've been doing. Yes. So I started off with cot bedding and then I went into clothing lines, and my last one was sleep and loungewear for women. That is what I was
Okay,
doing for
so
15 years.
it's 15 years. Okay, so then you moved to Australia, and what happened? Like, do you also wanted to start
Yes.
the same in Australia?
Yeah. So as you all know, we all start, so my journey started like 17 years ago when my first son was born.
Mhm.
And, I realized that the 9 to 5 wasn't going to give me the flexibility that I needed with, a child in the picture now. So my
Mm.
husband back then was working for the media. He had very
Okay.
demanding hours and, hardly at home. So one of us needed to be at home, right? So that's when I
Yeah.
was looking for something, to do from home without getting into the 9 to 5.
Mm.
So I wasn't really looking to, I had no idea that I would be doing business for so long. I was just looking for something, to do from home.
Okay.
And that is when I actually started on this whole thing. It started from my little garage at home, and then we slowly expanded and, got into the local market, into wholesales, and slowly exported. Yes. And then, it
Mm.
grew on eventually. And
Okay.
as our kids grew up, so what happened is that, things were going okay. As kids grew up, when university the time comes in, we thought, okay, let's give our kids an exposure, in the outside world. And we moved to Aussie.
Okay.
Unfortunately, traditional businesses, you really can't move them, right? So yes, it was like leaving my other kid behind. I have two boys, and it was like leaving my third baby behind. Something that I've been building for 15 years.
Mm.
I didn't give up, but I didn't sell my business back home. When I moved in over here, for a whole, I don't know, 8 months, I kept researching the market over here as to how I
Mm.
can bring that business over here online, keep the manufacturing in Sri
Mm.
Lanka
Mm.
itself and start exporting it over here and, setting up a little boutique or something like
Mm.
that.
Okay.
But, as new immigrants, when we all come in over here, life doesn't give you a chance. Bills start
Mm.
piling up from day one. And to set up a traditional business, you need to have a lot of time in hand, right? Market
Mm.
researches and trying out. It's a new country. You don't know anybody out over here. So you need that time, you need that effort, you need that energy, and you need that money, right? So with all my research, I needed at least $100,000 to start off a business over here, traditional business. If you to set up a shop and e-commerce websites and the shipping, warehousing, everything, right? And if you
Mm.
take on staff, so that is a big amount. I didn't have that
Mm.
kind of money, and very sad. When I came over here, I sold the business.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was the end of a 15-year legacy that I had built. It just died over there. That's what happened.
Okay. Sad. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, right, like if I think that's one of the advantages of starting an online business. Like for me, for example, I started this business when I was in Germany, and then I moved back to India to be closer to my parents and everything. So when I moved back to India, I didn't have to start anything from scratch because it was an online business. I just continued doing whatever I was doing, right? So I
Absolutely.
had built this business for 5 years in Germany, and then I moved back, and it just continued doing whatever I was doing, right? Yeah, Dona. Yeah.
I mean,
So,
and that is the first thing that I realized in a digital business when I came across this thing. I was like, thank God, because tomorrow, if my kids have finished their education and if I have to move back to my own country, I don't have to leave
yeah,
this business behind. That is
correct.
something that I
Yeah.
was not willing to do. And I wasn't willing to actually set up another traditional business over here after I'd gone through that. So I was
Yeah. So,
really, yeah, this was like a blessing, this digital
on-
business.
yeah, I think yeah, once you've gone through that experience, you will not have the courage to again start another business here, move back to Sri Lanka and lose
No,
it all over again, right?
no.
So yeah,
And
yeah,
we are at stage in my life right now, I'm 45 plus and I don't have the time to do this and I don't have the energy to do that. I've already done that. I'm looking
yeah.
to work smart and, earn that same income. So yes, traditional
Okay.
businesses was not the way when you move countries.
Yeah, but talking about your traditional business again, Donna, like how much did you invest in the beginning when you started this business? How much was your investment to start your business, traditional business back in Sri Lanka?
Oh, wow. That's, yeah. So this is like 17 years ago. I remember.
Mhm.
I started with all my savings that I had. I remember, right? As a very young girl back in the day, you know how young people are, right? We don't have
Yeah,
savings, right? It's only
yeah,
when the kids come into the picture you think of savings, right?
correct.
Um, so even back then, 17 years ago, I remember I needed at least 2 million rupees. I started off with that much of amount, and I think that is something close to like 10,000 Aussie dollars,
Okay,
something
okay.
like that,
Yeah,
10,000 Australian dollars back in the day, right?
yeah,
So I
17 years
wouldn't,
ago.
yes, that is
Yeah,
17 years ago. I can't imagine what the investment cost would be for someone to start a business like
no.
that in this age.
Yeah,
And,
like you said, when you came to Australia and researched about it, you said it cost you $100,000 to start everything
correct.
from scratch, right? So that's
Yes,
how much maybe now with all these inflation and everything in the past 17 years, that's how
absolutely.
much it would cost now to start your business.
Yes.
So, like now, when you explored about that, when you came to Australia, Donna, like you explored about it and you wanted an e-commerce website for your business and all those things, right? Like how much would a e-commerce website cost you? Do you remember the number when you
Oh,
started
yes.
exploring?
Yes, it was 1,000 plus. So when I got in
1,000.
quotations over here, it was starting from 1,000, and with each, you want to have a MailChimp, with each function that you add on, it just goes up and up. So
Yeah,
it was, that is why I said, the whole thing was at least, the minimum that I needed was 100,000. So e-commerce
$100,000.
websites are very expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I say in our business, right? When people come in and when they pay $149, they'll get a lot of things for that payment that they are doing, right? They get the website, they get the automated email system, they get training for 7 different platforms, all at just 149. And you know that just to get a website, you'll have to pay more than $1,000, right? So you can see how much people are
Absolutely.
saving,
I
right?
mean, absolutely, absolutely. The difference between a traditional business model and the digital business model is huge. I can talk about this for like maybe hours, hours
Yeah.
on end. I mean, the amount of time and the energy that I have spent to actually build up this business. I
Mhm.
mean, when you start up a business, nobody actually comes and holds your hands or even tells you how this is how it's going to
Yeah.
be. You have to do it by yourself. So I have spent, I remember, I mean, months and months of research. It's months and months of sleepless nights. It's time away from my kids. The whole idea was to actually be with my kids. That is the reason I started this whole, business.
Mhm.
But then again, when you run your own business, you slowly get lost. It's
Correct.
actually worse than a 9 to 5 job, running a
Yeah.
traditional business. At least in a traditional business, I mean, at least in a 9 to 5 job, you go off to work at 9 and then you're cut off and you come back home at 5 o'clock. And
Yeah.
even if you are not doing anything, on some days, at least you get your paycheck at the end of the day, right? Here in your
Correct.
traditional business, it's running 24/7. I had a clothing line. My orders are coming 24/7, right? There is shipping to be taken care of. I have customers calling me. I have, employees calling me. I have factories to run. They go into overtime. I have to go in, So
Mm,
basically, I was working for like 10, 12 hours a day. So the
mm,
amount
yeah,
of effort and time, and, you really can't put a measure on it.
correct.
It's crazy. And when I came to the digital business, I was shocked. I was amazed. I was like, everything is just done for you, right? It's a
Yeah,
business in a box. And in a traditional business, I was wearing so many hats, right? Because you are the designer, you are the manufacturer, you have to run your own factory, you have to source your own, your garments, you're doing the accounting, you're doing the marketing, you're doing the
yeah,
sales, you're doing the photo shoots, you're doing the choreography. How many hats are we wearing? It's overwhelming.
yeah,
On top of that, you're a
yeah,
mom, you have your home, you have all of that,
yeah,
right? And then you
yeah,
come in over here and you see everything is done for you. All I am doing over here is I'm just doing the marketing.
yes,
It's just
yeah,
one little thing from all the 100 things that in a traditional business model. So I was like, this is so simple. And the amount of money that we am investing into this business is so minimal compared to a traditional business. But the
yeah,
amazing thing is, maybe it's going to be one of your next questions. Um, I was never able to, you're going to ask me about, did this business, run at the back? Are you going to ask me about automation
yeah,
again?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
So
seriously.
maybe I'm just going to answer that, right? So I've been running this business for 15 years, and
Mm,
yeah, so I started this when my baby was first born, and I got
mm,
pregnant again, and I had my second baby. And what happened at that time was that I had to stop my traditional business, right?
okay.
I had to
Mm,
stop it
mm,
because you can't rely on your staff to run it. I mean, I have to be actively involved in it, right? So I took a
yeah,
decision and I just paused it.
mm,
And then when I was getting pregnant, when I got pregnant, and we were also doing a house renovation and a building, so that gap grew bigger, and I took a big gap,
mm.
and I think I closed the business for a good 2 to 3 years. So by the time I
Oh,
got
okay.
back to the business, right? So by that time, there had been many other people crept into the market, and so it was very hard to actually pick up the
Competition.
pace again and restart the whole thing again, right? I had
Okay.
lost my clients abroad. They had found different suppliers, so it's not easy. So your business, if you are not available, your traditional business will stop, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
time for Christmas, because I'm Catholic, I would actually close shop because that was the whole point of me over my traditional business, right? So that was my
Understand.
highest time. Yeah, that is my highest time for sales.
Huh.
But because I was Catholic and Christmas was a big thing for us at home, I would close
Mm.
shop. So I would lose out on, the biggest
Yeah,
sales of my, yeah, I would lose out on sales. And then when
yeah,
I came over here, I was like, oh my gosh, the digital business, it does not have to stop. You can get pregnant, you can get sick. I mean, everything is running at the back end, right? I'm
yeah.
on the beach. I'm on the beach with my kids on a weekend, and my business is, running automatically. I mean, my clients are coming into me. I don't have to go behind clients. I don't have to worry about them.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's amazing that you don't have to worry about scaling. You don't have to worry about taking breaks or going on holidays. Everything is just automated
Yeah.
in this digital business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was surely my one of my questions, Donna, because we see that we can run our online business from anywhere, right? We go on vacation and it keeps running for us. But the traditional business is not like that, right? You're tied to your
Mm,
business, and people think that
correct.
when we start a business, we get financial freedom, and for sure you might be getting financial freedom, but you don't get the time freedom, right? And to get your time freedom, you should start a business, but better start an online business than a traditional business is what that's a message through this
Oh,
interviews that I'm
yes.
doing, right? So yeah, so like
Absolutely.
like you said, during your during Christmas, like you had to close it, and even if you want to go on vacation, you will have to close it. You can't rely on anybody else, right? So that's where the online comes into picture. I think, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So for 15 years, I really thought that I had time freedom compared to a 9 to 5 person. That is what
Yes,
I
yes,
thought because I knew
yeah,
no better, right?
yeah,
And when I came to this part of the world, right? Because back
Mm.
home we don't have digital businesses. Had I known
Mm.
about this, I would have never ventured into a traditional business.
Right,
I
right.
would be in a different place by now, right? Because 15 years I have invested into this, but I couldn't scale my business because of my kids,
Mm.
right? So because I mean I was making so much, but I had a lot of demand. But to give into that demand, it meant more hours out of home. It meant more
Yeah.
hours, more, no
Right.
more, sports meets, or no more, dinners with families. I'll have to cut
Mm.
down on so many weekends with my parents and my in-laws. So that is where
Mm.
I never could scale up to that level for 15 years. I was,
Right.
very slowly, and I was always in the same place, because as a
Mm.
mom, that is what I wanted. So, and time freedom is, like you said, yeah, I thought I had time freedom, but when I've come to digital businesses, I realize what the true meaning of time freedom is.
Yeah, so
There's
right, so
time.
now you can be with your children, and still, if you want to get more sale, more commission or more pay from the business, you just have to put a bit more time, but you're still staying with your children. You don't have to go out of your home, and you can do the business
Correct.
after your children sleep, maybe, right? You put 1 or 2 hours
Yes,
after
absolutely.
your children go to sleep, and you can still do this business. And the more time you put, the more income you get, and you're also spending time with your children, right? So that's the
Absolutely.
yeah, and
Absolutely.
you spoke about the clients, Donna. So you when you had to close your business for 2 years or 3 years, you had lost all your clients. And the same, but in when you compare it with the online business, you don't have to worry about that because you're just putting your ads outside and you're getting new clients every time, right? You don't have to worry about
Absolutely.
one client coming in and buying things here. So it's all completely automated. And once you learn the skill of how to market outside, you're good to go in the business, like how you said,
Yes.
right? Like 90% of our task is done by automation here. So to set up that phase of your automation, you might take like 1 or 2 months into the business, but then everything is automated and we keep like the system keeps working for us in the back end, right? So that's
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
marketing is the only skill people have to learn here. And a lot of people, so now when you tell about your experience, like when you come from a traditional business background, you understand how much of the work and effort is already done for you, right? So
Oh,
that's the main thing that I would like to give it out to our audience, that if you don't explore about businesses, or if you don't have experience about traditional businesses, you wouldn't know how much you're getting when you're coming into our business, right? So just a website will take more than $1,000 for you. Just the marketing training will take close to 18,000 to $20,000 for you to learn all these 7 different platforms that we are providing the training, right? And then you are
yeah.
getting a mentor and a coach who will be with you throughout your business journey. Like Donna now mentioned, like she was alone, right? You will be alone in any business, but here you have the support of a community where we have more than 2 lakh people in the community, right? So we are getting constant motivation and help from people around us who will pick us up even when we are demotivated sometime, right? So all those, the community support is again very important for any business, and that's given to you for almost free of cost here. Right?
Yeah,
So all
absolutely.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
so I now understand. I had one other question where I wanted to ask you, why did you start an online business? But I think you've answered it already. All the
Yeah.
advantages that you've mentioned compared to traditional business. So thank you, Donna. So do you want to give a advice, like what advice would you give to our audience who are looking to start a business? For sure, now through our interviews and everything, if they've watched, they know that 9 to 5 is not the way to go if you want financial freedom, right? And if you want financial freedom, businesses are the best. And in when you're thinking of starting a business, start a digital business where you can get also time freedom along with your financial freedom, right? So what advice would you give to our audience who are watching this, Donna?
Yes. So don't be hesitant. Don't let fear hold you back. And don't be ignorant also, right? So do your research out there. So if you are watching this interview, don't just take our word for it. Pay the 149 and get into the system and do your own research. You don't have to just believe what we are saying, right? You can get directly in contact with all the companies, get all the information for yourself. And you even get to connect with all this the people that we're talking about, the 200,000 people who are running this business online on a global platform. Connect with all of them and see for yourself. Yeah, so I mean, I suppose that is my biggest message to everybody, because I feel that a lot of people, even though they see our journey, they are stuck. at that
Get
same spot where they are hesitant to pay the 149, and they're
yeah.
wondering as to, I don't know what the questions are, but I hope that the session is going to be answering, a few of the questions
Yeah.
that they have with the traditional businesses.
Yeah. Thank you, Donna. And for sure, like you said, it's always better you explore. If you're seeing something like this, and if it's coming your way, just try to explore more about it and see if it fits you or not, right? Instead of assuming things and thinking online might not suit me, or I can't go online, I can't put myself on social media, all those things. See what it actually takes to start a business, right? So any
Yeah.
business will take time, money, and effort, but a traditional business, or like compared to online businesses, right, when you're starting an online business, you are getting a lot just at a very very minimal, like 0.00%, like of what Donna would be investing on a traditional business. No, not $100,000, you don't have to invest that much. You're investing a very very minimal percentage of that to start an online business, but this online business can also give you a huge return, compared, like, even though it can surpass what your traditional business can give you. Would you agree with that, Donna?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
So for so many years, my income was capped because I couldn't scale it. But over here, that is one thing I see, that your income is not capped. You can
Yes.
exceed your 9 to 5 salary at, any given point, depending on the amount of work that you put in. You
Yeah.
can.
So yeah, so yeah, that's about it. So explore more. If you are interested to learn more, you can contact any one of us, and we'll be happy to help you with the next steps. So do your due diligence, explore more, and we'll see you on the other side soon. Okay,
All right.
thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
so much for having me, Kavya. And yes, I hope you guys all reach out to, Kavya or to me and take your
Yeah,
next step, guys. All right. Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone. We'll connect again next week with another person with traditional business experience, and we'll give you more info and insight about the businesses. Thank you. Bye bye.